Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to meal prep some stuff with you. I have a couple of busy days ahead and I'm not a really big fan of meal prep. I just don't like eating reheated food. There are a couple of meals in my meal plan that will actually work for meal prepping. So we're gonna get that started today and hopefully this inspires you to prep some stuff if you know you have a couple of busy days so that you can stay on track with your goals and follow your meal plan. The meals that we're gonna prep today is gonna be breakfast, lunch, dinner, and we're also gonna prep some snacks. And this is just to show you that if you're somebody who has like a really busy job from like a 9 to 5, there are some meals that you can prep that are still gonna hold up for the next couple of days. We can stay on track and get to our goals. We're gonna make vanilla pancakes with yogurt and blueberries for breakfast. For lunch, we're gonna make classic pasta bolognese. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm gonna assume so. Dinner, beef stew. So because the beef stew is what takes the longest to cook, that's what we're gonna start with. And I'm gonna prepare a pressure cooker slash slow cooker. I think I'm gonna use a pressure cooker because I just want it to be done like ASAP so that we can move on. And a good knife. I'm not really a big fan of meal prep. I think that that's the thing. Every time you look at meal prep, it's always like the same boring stuff, right? I think that stuff with like sauces tend to be so much better. Like I like pastas for meal prep. There's one thing that you could not get me to meal prep and that's eggs. All right, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Try not to cry. Ooh, she's hot. She is spicy today. 2 tomatoes. We got these things to like cover the sink. If you live in like a small place and like a small kitchen, then you know the struggle of needing space and not freaking having it. And the sinks take up a lot. Don't really have to use the recipes like as specifically as it shows. You can really take inspiration of the recipes and make them your own. Something that you're like, oh yeah, I can make that and I can add. It's always about adding stuff, right? Or replacing stuff that you might not like 100%. A lot of people, especially in the fitness community, think that they have to do things exactly the way that it's like written out. And the truth is consistency is a lot easier when you make things work for you instead of the other way around. Complicated than I thought it was going to be simply because I had to freaking deal with the onion. So if I hadn't had to do that, it would have been way easier. One thing that is super important when it comes to meal prep and following recipes is that you do need to measure out some ingredient. Pan frying. We want about 5 ounces of beef per serving. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna zero this out. I'm gonna cut about 5 ounces. That is 4.8. Perfect. And I'm gonna go ahead and saute here. That's about it. That one's a little bit, this is 6. Perfect. Add some pepper as well, just so we can get some flavor on there. We're just gonna let them sit for a little bit so they can brown. Pretty brown already. I'm gonna go ahead and add all of this so they can start cooking. This is how I like my stews and how I make it for me and my husband all the time. A little bit of this. You know, this is a Salvadorian household, so we're gonna use some caldo de tomate con pollo. Use 1 tablespoon of that. We're also gonna use 1 of chicken, even though it's not chicken. Here, I think half a tablespoon is fine. You gotta use what you have. We have chicken stock. Add some on there so you can have some moisture. And we have some bay leaves. We're gonna add 2. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and get to pressure cooking this so we can stop the saute process. And I'm gonna seal it to pressure cook meat. And she's gonna do her thing. So let's go. That's gonna take 35 minutes. I need more onion. We are gonna measure only 22 ounces of this because we're gonna use the rest for a different recipe that we're not meal prepping. So just gonna take 22 ounces of this. This is a recipe that a lot of my girls get because it's easy. I think that it's a family, it's like a crowd pleaser. Everybody likes pasta. Everybody likes like a version of pasta, and you can really make it your own depending on the spices that you use. If you're somebody who cooks for their family, I think pasta is like a really good thing to have in your meal plan. Some salt and start getting some flavor. This recipe calls for 120 grams per serving of like the canned tomatoes. My husband doesn't really like the liquid that the tomatoes come with. It can be a little bit sour, so we're just gonna open it up and take out just the tomatoes. We're gonna add the onion first. All right, tomatoes. We're gonna add a little bit of water that we saved from the pasta. Spices, I'm gonna use the Italian seasoning. Well, I'm gonna mix it with some pizza seasoning. This is where you really like gotta make things like your own and make sure that they taste good. Because this pizza seasoning is honestly amazing. We freaking love it. And it makes everything so much better. Mix it in and we're gonna let it simmer for literally eternity. We want it to get like soft. We have those two things cooking. Pasta's already done. In the event that I had to make the pasta and the rice, this is the time that I would set it up because those things take about 10 minutes. If I was doing that, I would do it right now. But since my amazing husband already took care of that, I'm gonna start working on pancakes. And this recipe for pancakes is super freaking easy. It's all on the blender. So I like to measure my blueberries dry. Like, I think that once you get them wet, they weigh a lot more, obviously, because they're holding on to water. In here, 60 grams per serving, so that is 240 grams. The banana text. I'm gonna put this here and then zero it out. If you needed to measure something and you don't wanna, it's too complicated, you can literally just do this. We need 15 grams per serving of oats. We're gonna use some vanilla because it calls for some, and we're gonna use Mexican vanilla. How it smells. So we're gonna move you here. Shit is heavy. We gotta be quick. I'm gonna use some butter. It doesn't call for butter, but I think butter is the best way to get them to not stick. I'm gonna do 2 of these. Pancakes are already done. We're gonna prep puddings. Zero it out. I'm gonna use unsweetened almond milk. Twenty grams of protein powder. Any protein powder that you have really works. Like, it really just depends on what you prefer. Some of my girls actually prefer vegan protein powder, and like that's totally fine. I like whey. I think that sometimes when you have like a really like busy time like coming up, like it can be super useful because it's easier for you to stick to your goals. It's easier for you to not have to cook every day, not have to wash dishes every day. Add the oats, and the oats we need 20 grams each. Beautiful boys, I'm sorry, we've been busy. We're gonna add the yogurt on top and the fruit, and it calls for 70 grams of yogurt, so this is super easy. Before you go to work or wherever you're gonna take this, you would just add that on top. This is a side dish for the pancakes. Okay, we're gonna do 170 because we're gonna add that protein shake. So we're gonna add 10 grams of protein powder. It may not seem like a lot, it will make a difference. El sabor, yeah. I really like doing this. I was against it for a really long time. I thought that it was kind of gross, but you kind of grow into things. I think that that's something that even my husband is kind of like seeing things a little bit different now. I like get used to certain things. Like, you just kind of have to give him a chance, I guess. He's singing us the song of his people. 1, 1, and 1, 1, 1, 1. Just gonna do about 12. A little bit of syrup for each. And there we go. You could even add some strawberries in here. My husband had already cooked the pasta. 100 pasta. I think I'm gonna put it on this side. What's wrong, puppy? You bored? So I'm gonna grab 150 grams of this because that's what the meat is supposed to be, right? 1 serving left, so I'm just gonna split it up into all of them. Do this that you don't really have to be like 100% precise, and it's still better than you having to go eat outside. Sprinkle some cheese on top. This is so low calorie. I don't think a lot of people talk about this, but this is super low calorie and high in protein. So if you want to add flavor to your meals, I think this is a freaking perfect way to do that. Again, we're always looking to add and not take out of our meals. I think that this is one of those meals that you can really like play around with different flavors, or you can even add different vegetables depending on what your family likes. I think for the sides of this, like if you wanted to add a little bit more, add it like a quesadilla on the side, it would be freaking delicious. I'm never really thinking of taking out stuff from your plate, and I'm always like thinking of ways that you can add stuff to your plate. Don't look at the mess behind me. Look at this. It took about 2.5 hours. The most time consuming part of this process is actually weighing the stuff to like put in the plates and stuff. So that's where I can see it can be a little bit complicated, but when you're following a recipe, you can actually just say like, I'm just gonna make this times 4 and just make the 4 ingredients and split it into 4. It's not going to be exact every single time, but it's still going to be, like I said, so much better than you going out and picking up something to eat. This is where a lot of people tend to overcomplicate meal prep. We think that it has to be like this fancy, boring type of stuff. But to me, like I could even add 2 tortillas to the meat and have it like tacos, and it wouldn't add a crazy amount of calories to my day. The meat, you can make tacos for your family, and you can have this meal for you. The pancakes, kids always like pancakes. They might not like this specific type of pancake, but I think it's super easy to just throw something in the blender and make it for you. It doesn't take that long. The chia seed pudding with protein powder and milk is gonna be super nutritious. When you're ready to eat it, you're just gonna add some whatever fruit you have available, just throw it on top and it's gonna be good. For the girls that are on my meal plan and on my program, I always give them one meal like this so that if they choose to meal prep, they can meal prep this. All right, if you made it to the end of this video, let me know what is your favorite meal prep that you make, because we need the ideas. Is it overnight oats? What is your favorite lunch meal prep? Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.